listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Can't get enough baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's nobody I'd rather have on the planet than talking to Johnny right now. That's a fact. I appreciate it. And congratulations to you, a Miami sweatshirt. By the way, you're wearing. I like it. Finally, you can wear it out in public. I love it.
Yeah, I wore it when we weren't winning either. So
that's good. That's good. That's good. So I appreciate you again. You joining. We had talked a few years ago. I was looking up a story that I wrote interviewing you, and it was comparing when your time with the Red Sox, obviously guys that you had dealt with, Bogarts and Devers and these sort of guys, and then at that time I was like, oh wow, 2009. Oh yeah, of course, the Nationals, they were winning the World Series, and in large part because of your help. The first thing I want to do, Johnny, is sort of, if you can take me really quick through your path, through your baseball journey, which we always love to hear from. What has been your path?
I started scouting in 1990 with the St. Louis Cardinals as a part-time scout, and then I was hired as a full-time scout in 1993. And from there, I worked for them till 1990, the end of 97. Scouted internationally for the Giants in 98, 99, and then went to the Red Sox in 99 till 2009, where I went over to the Nationals till I forgot, was last year I was with them. But then I'm with Kansas City in the same kind of role as a special assistant to the director.
And I guess told you before, congratulations on the I love the Royals. I love going back to, we have a great relationship with Dayton Moore. We have a great relationship with JJ and so many good people there, and building such an awesome thing. Well, I guess one of the things I'm kind of curious about is for your role, like you land with the Royals, for your role, how have things changed in how you have to do things, the way that you do things, compared to, say, like when you were working for the Red Sox back, up until 2009, and then the Nationals?
Well, here I'm more like the nail. I don't have the hammer. I have to help craft whatever we're trying to build. I'm more of in like an advisory role, senior advisory role. So I kind of enjoying it because I'm helping mentor some young guys, guide them to have their careers. But like you said, the Kansas City organization is first class. Everybody here, it's more like a family. Everybody's very, very professional, very cordial. Everything is very, very, very family oriented, which I enjoy.
That's awesome. So, in regards to, this is sort of jumping right into the meat and potatoes of finding players, which you found so many players, or helped find so many players and sign so many players. One of the things I've always found fascinating when it comes to baseball scout, I think it's the hardest thing to do in international scouting, because you are projecting so far out. For you, what is the thing, and this is sort of a very broad statement, very broad question, but for you, when you're trying to project these younger guys, these 14, 15, 16-year-olds up until the point where they can sign, what is the things that you were looking for? Because, I have a picture of Ellie De La Cruz at 130 pounds, so what are basically the things that you are looking for when you go through that?
Well, it's experience. You have to have experience. You have to have your boots on the ground and know what you're looking at. Obviously, it is getting more and more difficult now, looking at kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old, because it's a really like we used to have to draft and follow in the draft. Now you're drafting, follow, and draft follow. You're doing through a 3-part process. So, but you have to have experience of what you're looking at. You have to be able to project bodies. You have to be able to project makeup, be able to project what position you think they're going to play in the future, and it's still a high failure rate. But I think if you have a little bit of gray hair and a little bit of experience, you're gonna fail a lot less than a guy that's just starting.
Can you give me an example? I know there's a lot. Can you give me an example of a guy that you were pounding the table for?
I pounded on the table for pretty much everybody that wants to sign. That's just my personality. But I don't know. That's kind of a difficult question, because I think if you're going to put your name on a young man, you got to pound the table for him. You got to make him part of your family. So I pretty much pound on the table for everybody that I want to sign. I think everybody's a big leaguer when I sign them. Unfortunately, that doesn't work out though.
Yeah, but still, you have to be convicted, right? I mean, conviction is everything, I would imagine.
Right.
And I would imagine also when you probably see some younger scouts who are there's this element of, in baseball, Johnny, you don't have to confirm or deny this, but there's an element of baseball of covering everything. We have analytics to cover ourselves. We have, we're covering everything. Well, to your point, if you're convicted and say, I just know I really like this kid and he's going to be a major leaguer, a lot of times the front office might be saying, well, prove it. Well, okay, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Am I making that too simplistic?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of times you tell them to take your word for it and you fail. Yeah. But I think it's a human game where a human has to look at the other human to figure out if that player can be at least a double-A player. I think if a guy gets to double-A and performs, he's got a chance to play things, or create a product where your general manager can trade for a big leaguer with the product that you sign. But I think the only way to really quantify that is with experience. 30 years in Latin America, and seeing the players over and over, and evaluate your failures to quantify success. And I think that's the only way. I think it's the only way you can have success down there. I don't think a machine can tell you that a 14-year-old is going to play in the big leagues. It just don't. I haven't been able. And when you do find that machine, let me know. I'll jump on the bandwagon. But I think it's kind of. I think we're being ignorant to the cause. You have to have the human looking at the human to evaluate. You got to know the culture. You have to know what if you're not part of that culture, it's kind of hard to evaluate the culture that you're scouting.
Is it, do you find organizations, not necessarily your own, the ones you were in, but do you find that organizations are trying to say, we have to quantify, we have to prove that this 14-year-old, through whether it is, hey, let's bring down TrackMan or whatever it is. Do you find that the organizations are desperately trying to do this?
I think a lot of organizations are evaluating on that concept. TrackMan doesn't give you the numbers that equate to what they're looking for. They won't sign the player. I respect that. That's what they want to do. But I'll put my eyes against a machine any day. My failures against a machine any day. And I think it's. I don't know. I think when you figure it out with years of what that machine has done, and you figure out what the years of a veteran scout has done, I think the veteran scout wins out.
Well, let me ask you this. So we'll spin it forward to the man of the hour, which is Juan Soto. How would Juan Soto be scouted now at the age that you had a huge hand in signing him with the Nationals? How would he be viewed and scouted now compared to how he was back then?
I mean, I don't know what his analytic numbers were when he was young, because I didn't look at him. I just saw a guy that used the whole field and barreled the baseball with minimal other tools, but he did have a high leverage bat that really, made me have high interest in him, because you're signing, like we talked about this before, you're signing a guy with one tool. And we did give him $1.5 million for a guy with one tool. So you had to be really, really sure on the bat to give a guy $1.5 million. It wasn't one of those $50,000 signs kind of like what Boston did with Devers. You know, they were sold on the bat, and they signed him.
Do you remember, this is a cliche question, Johnny, but do you remember the first time you saw Soto?
Yeah, he was a left-handed pitcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you said that guy's going to be the best hitter in baseball.
My first impression wasn't very good because he was a left-handed pitcher. But my area scout, Modesto Ulloa, did a real good job. Our staff did a really good job, and they kept on him, and they saw him as a hitter. They brought me back, and even the first impression as a hitter wasn't something that, I was crazy about, but there was something there, and we followed up, and we got the deal done.
How old was he when you first saw him as a hitter?
It was like 14 and a half. As a pitcher, 14 and a half. As a hitter, probably just after he turned 15.
Okay. But in that time, did you see, I mean, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, Johnny, is that I give you so much credit because to say, I see this in him, I see this in this kid, and it's going to evolve. Now, like, who would have known? Maybe you would have known, I don't know, that he was going to evolve into what he did. But even in that year or so before you signed him, did you see like sort of the evolution? Okay, he's starting to get it. He's starting to physically mature and all of that. Did you see that?
Yes. I mean, it was like buying a classic car without wheels, no engine, no AC. And then all of a sudden it all came together. Like, wow, that's a beautiful 69 Chevelle. That's the way it works out. You gotta put the wheels on them, and you gotta put the engine, the AC, and then it all equates, and you go, oh, okay, I want to buy that car.
All right, so for you, when did the wheels get on Juan Soto?
The wheels started getting on it when I see that ball go in the opposite field with a little bit more thump, and then it started to pull a little bit more, but his barrel awareness as a hitter was just as freaky as anybody I've ever seen.
Really?
He was like Pedroia. Pedroia was the Red Sox. You saw the first impression, but when you saw him hit, he barreled baseballs up, and that's what sold me.
So when another big part of this too is relationship building. I guess how many teams were in on Soto when you signed him?
I think 4 that were, high interest. I think it was involved, and I forgot the name. I forgot the other team, but Arizona got it up late, but we were just kept me up to date. So when he went to Fort Lauderdale, I was there early in the morning, and we worked him out, and that sold the deal.
Well, and another big part of it is obviously relationship building, right? I mean, this is a huge part of it. And we had David Ortiz on the other day, and David's talking about how, he's friends with the family. He lives in the same complex, and the mom makes the best oxtail you've ever had. I'm like, okay, that's great. And so, but I would imagine like that, but that's the type of thing that you guys have to relationship building, not only with the player, but with the family too, right?
Yeah, well, the relationship that David has with Soto was started by me. I'm the one who introduced him, and he's enjoying the oxtail because of me. But if you don't have a relationship with the Buscones down there, you're gonna buy cubic zirconias consistently. You're not gonna get a real diamond because there's a lot of fake product down there.
Yeah,
if you're not connected. You can get bad goods.
So when did as Juan is developing and becoming the player that he became, and you've known David for a while. So did you say, okay, you know what, there's not a lot of guys that you can say this could potentially be this guy, but talking to David, I said the easy pitch, David, is walking in there saying, hey, the Red Sox need the next Juan Soto. I mean, the next David Ortiz. But
right.
for you, I mean, the guy, the personality, everything about him. Like this is a type of special player where we can actually say that about him, right?
Well, if you're gonna start a corporation, you wanna have a guy that represents that corporation in a very professional way. I've always thought of Juan as the Derek Jeter of Latin American players. the way he dresses, the way he conducts himself, the way he speaks English. He was like he's like a Marine. The way and if you want to have a high price guy to mold your younger players to be that like him, he's the guy that you would want to represent your organization.
Can I ask you, when you saw that in him, you saw, like you said, it was an evolution with the bat to ball skills, with the ability on the baseball field. But when did you realize that all the things that you just said, that he was going to become that sort of human being?
Oh, I think when he learned English in 1 year, and then when he started describing breaking balls at 16, how they spin and how they, what was the rotation on the clock, then I knew I had an advanced young man, as far as a mindset. And that through the years, I've never seen a Latin player with that kind of mind. The only other kid that ever had that type of makeup was probably Bogarts. Bogarts was very advanced in his profession.
I mean, that's
normally it's a copycat society. Those kids copy whatever they see on TV or whatever big leaguers wearing. And Juan isn't like that.
That's such a huge thing, right? I mean, even I give a enormous amount of credit to anybody who learns English that quickly and prioritizes learning English that quickly. Because I've seen guys in the major leagues, even and they're well into their major league career. And if you want to be the leader of the team, this, Johnny, is that if you want to be, you have to reach all corners of the clubhouse.
You got to communicate. You got to communicate English language. You can't be a leader in the United States of America by just speaking Spanish alone. You have to be able to communicate in English. You have to be able to communicate in the language that pays you. You don't get paid with pesos. You get paid with dollars in the United States.
Is it? I mean, I don't know how you feel. You have such a unique perspective of Juan, but as we're sitting here on the precipice of this awesome contract for him, this awesome opportunity for him, I mean, you must feel great for him, number one, but also this the perspective of you've watched his journey and you walked his journey with him too. It must be a unique time for you.
I mean, I'm proud of him. I wish I would have got 1% of what he's going to make in the contract, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But yeah, you feel like a proud daddy, Yeah, he represented me well, and I tried to represent him well. I've always talked very highly of him, but he's a special kid. He's not a kid anymore, but he's a special human being.
Well, is there anything so just talk to a little bit about like what your role, if you like, in terms of what it looks like for you. You go in the winter meetings? Do you go to winter meetings at all?
Yeah, I'm going in the winter meeting. I'm part of the Scouts Foundation, so I run the international side of the Scouts Foundation. So I have to be there for that, and I get there on Monday and I leave Wednesday.
Okay, well, I hope to see you and present you to your baseballs and boring T-shirt to you, because I don't want to replace. Listen, I'm not replacing the U. I'm not replacing just a baseballs and boring T-shirt. I'll make sure I hand deliver it to you.
You can't. You can't replace the U.
No, never.
That's running in my blood.
I know. It's I can't believe Alex Corazon chose Liverpool over the U today. I can't believe that. So, but hey,
Alex, that's a good man.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
All right, thank you.